I'm going to be breaking down personal branding as a career path versus a normal job. Being someone who has now built a successful personal brand and makes about 5 to 10K per month consistently from that, and also having worked plenty of normal jobs that were complete dog shit. I remember probably the worst one was doing a personal training career as a non-certified personal trainer. I was kind of just working at Planet Fitness and like walking people around the gym and doing a little bit of bullshit. I didn't get paid to personal train. I just got paid for an hourly wage. I remember working about like 30 hours per week and making like $300. And it was probably one of the lowest points in my life. I was genuinely starting to get depressed after just 3 weeks. I had to stand all day long. I remember just standing and my back would start to really hurt, and it ended up causing a little injury. After like 3 weeks, my back got fucked up. I remember just being like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm working for $300. It's caused me an injury and I hate what I do. And it's not even fun. It's not even real personal training. I'm just like walking people around the gym and showing them machines. It was such fucking garbage. And I've done many other ones too, like life insurance. That is a fucking horrible industry. I've done life insurance sales. And even though some people say sales is kind of like your own boss, no, you're not. You're not. If you're not selling your own product, you're not your own boss. You're still fucking listening. You're still taking orders. You're doing whatever the fucking managers and bosses want you to do. So as I've had a degree of freedom with sales previously, I didn't have true freedom until I owned whatever I was selling. So that's my little spiel on normal jobs. So I've just really harnessed the pain and just fucking hatred for normal jobs. I don't hate many things, but I hate normal jobs. I really feel like it's modern slavery, because if you will trade your time for something that's printed from the thin air, after reading a couple books on money and the Federal Reserve, you'd learn that money is just printed by the will of the Federal Reserve. So when they just press a button and generate millions and billions and trillions of dollars, and you're willing to trade your time for it, you're effectively a slave. And I don't want anyone to take that in the wrong way or misinterpret it, but it's genuinely modern slavery. You're willing to trade your time for money, doing something that you probably hate. That is one of the worst ways that you can live your life. And I decided that I didn't want to live my life, and I was on a path of figuring it out. So I started with learning sales because I knew it was a valuable skill set. And I really learned that personal branding is the true cheat code. And building a personal brand has given me back true freedom. I can work anywhere in the world. I determine my own income. I can make as much as I want, and I'm only in the early stages right now. I mean, it's only going to scale and grow and grow and grow. 5 to 10K is going to seem like nothing in a year from now for me. I'm going to be pushing 25, 50, even more a month. And it's just time freedom too. I work the hours that I set. So I'm living in Scandinavia, and I take calls when I want to take calls. One thing I always wanted was to be able to wake up whenever I want. So I have my backup alarm set for 11 a.m., and that's when I wake up most days. I wake up at 11 a.m. How many of you can say that you can wake up at 11 a.m. and still be productive and still make more money than the average person? I'm still in my early stages, keep this in mind. I'll be doing this when I'm making a bunch of money as well. So it's really given me true freedom just from posting a video on YouTube every single day. And if this is already sounding like something that you want, I created a YouTube strategy board giving you my system of how I keep everything organized and systemized, creating really high quality content in a bunch of production, right? So I'm able to make one a day on my main channel and also 4 or 5 per week on my second channel. That's about 12 to 15 videos a week I'm making, all because of my organization system. So if you want that and you want to be able to produce high quality videos in a high frequency, then you can grab that. It's completely for free. It's the first thing in the description below. But let me go back into personal branding and why it's genuinely the best option that you have in the modern day if you don't want to be a slave, basically. So if you want true freedom, there's no better option than personal branding. Yes, there's other business models that will make you money. I know guys who are kind of taking advantage of the TikTok shop thing that's going on right now. They say it's a little bit of a gold rush and they're making money with it, and that's great and that's good for them. But there's different things you can do, but I think the best is going to be personal branding, because I know that the guy who's doing that, who's making a lot of money, but he works a lot. I genuinely work about 3 hours a day. That's it. If you really average it out, not more than 3 hours. I record my content, doesn't take me that long. As you can see, I do one takes on this channel, so I'll just sit down, think of what I'm going to say, and say it, and it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to record the video, and I post it. So you can do one takes if you want. You could technically do one takes your entire YouTube career. On my main channel, I like to break it into segments and really make sure it comes out super, super well and very well articulated, trying to improve the retention for the video. But still, it only adds makes it 30 minutes instead of 15. It's not that much because I make a couple mistakes. I change the idea, I want to say something a little different, whatever. But so recording content doesn't take more than an hour. I take some sales calls, 2, 3, 4 a day, 30 minutes each, client call here and there, and then I have my group meetings. It averages out to 3 hours a week. I'm completely free. Today, I woke up at 11, went to the gym, I recorded my content, I have one sales call, I have a date, and then I have another sales call at 12:30 a.m. So I got 2 sales calls today. It's I have such financial freedom, and I make a bunch of money. It's crazy because on my main channel, I don't usually wear a shirt. I've tried to wear a shirt on here to be a little more professional, but I'll show up to my sales calls. If I don't feel like wearing a shirt, if I'm hot, I don't wear a shirt. I can't tell you how many times I've closed deals for $2,500 shirtless. What job can you make that much money in a span of 30 to 45 minutes shirtless? There's no career like this. It's genuinely elite. There's nothing that compares. If you want to really play in a category of one, where you don't have to worry about competition because the people who will work with you resonate with you in some way, right? So there's always going to be something unique about you. And you got to understand that the world is so big. There's so many people. And all it takes is 1 degree of connection between you and that person, one similarity. Maybe they look similar to you. Maybe they grew up in a similar sort of environment, right? I kind of grew up in the suburbs of America. How many kids have grown up in the suburbs of America and want to leave the States or whatever? I left the States to go to Scandinavia, and they probably resonate with that. Or there's so many little things. There are so many kids who grew up shy and introverted, just like I did, and I overcame it, and that's what they resonate with me for on my main channel. There's so many things that you could resonate with a person over on a personal brand that makes you connected to them. And this is really where that audience gets built. You don't have to worry about competing with every other player. Of course, it is a little bit of a competition in terms of growth and things like that, but you're going to attract an audience who really, really likes you if you're truly authentic. You can speak your mind, and it's so funny. So many people are worried and kind of hold themselves back on what they say and things like that. I tell you, the more savage shit that I say, the more my audience gets stronger. And it's the funniest things where someone will come onto a sales call, or even just one of my friends or someone who I'm meeting or I know, and maybe they watched a piece of my content and they fucking die laughing at some savage shit that I say. And they're just he can authentically say the things that everyone thinks anyway. All guys usually are going to think the same sort of things, at least everyone's different, but most masculine men sort of think the same way. And if you say the things that everyone's thinking, it makes them respect you so much more for being authentic and just putting yourself out there. For example, not even about me. Let's take it aside from me. I met a guy through my personal brand. He DM'd me on Instagram, and he's already pretty much a G. He didn't need the coaching, but we've just been in contact, and he was trying to meet up with me, and we're going to maybe do something, go on a trip together. He's pretty successful. And I've seen his stories sometimes, and his stories are fucking hilarious. He's just authentic. He just posts whatever he wants, and it's some controversial shit sometimes. But every single time he does that, I like him more because of it. And you got to realize that any of your limiting beliefs that you have around putting yourself out there, posting content, building an authentic personal brand is all limiting beliefs, because people are only going to resonate with you more when you really put yourself out there. And that's what's going to cause you to create that cult-like following of people who are either really, really with you or people who hate you and are against you. And there's going to be a very small percentage, although they're the ones who are going to vocalize themselves. The haters speak 10 times louder than the supporters and followers. But your audience growth is going to outweigh the amount of haters. If your channel is going up and up and up, but you have a couple haters in the mix, who gives a shit? If you don't have haters, you're not marketing correctly. That's something from Expert Secrets. It's a great book to read if you want to get into personal branding. But Russell Brunson says if you are not pissing someone off or having a hater every day, you're not marketing hard enough. So don't let that get to you. If you build a personal brand, you will have a true degree of freedom, which you otherwise would not experience. If you really want a long-term sustainable business, this is the way. I remember having my sales academy business where I was hustling 10, 12 hours a day working to make about 8 to 15K per month. So it was good money, a little bit more at times than I'm making now, because I'm, once again, in my early stages of this. But I had to hustle so hard for it. And I'll tell you about this month in July. So this is the type of life you can live once you build up a personal brand. My family has a summer house in northern Sweden. I was there and I had some friends there. Every single day I was just having so much fun. My family was there, my sister was there. So me and my sister, we would go to the gym together. Once we were done with the gym, we would either go jet skiing and just drive around, or we'd go to beaches, or we would meet up with my friends at the beach and hang out with my friends. And that was what we were doing pretty much every single day. If I had sales calls, obviously I would work around the sales calls. I would create my content. Sometimes I would just come home, sit down, record the content. Then we would go jet skiing and go to the beach and whatever. And then on the weekends, I would hang out with my friends. I would party. So I would go up to a city. I would get hotels and the big city, and I would go party there. And even sometimes there was a party on Tuesday. There's this one special event for the club every Tuesday. And sometimes I would even go to that during the middle of the week and just party and drink with my friends. It's like, that is the level of freedom that you can have. And I remember making about 6 or 7K that month. So, you know, it's not like the big dogs out here who are making 100K a month, but, you know, I'm earlier in my career. And I know that. And I know I'll get to those big numbers eventually. But the level of freedom that I had to make that much money, especially in Scandinavia where people are working 40-hour weeks to make like 3 or 4K, that's crazy. I barely worked in July and I made 6 or 7K. So when you put things in perspective, it's like you can truly live a life of freedom, like lifestyle design, right? Design your life the way you want it. I didn't want to live in America. I'm not a big fan of a lot of things in America. I'm not going to go into the specifics. It's not this video. But I just decided after traveling to Sweden when I was a little younger that I really liked Sweden. I wanted to move here. This is going to be where I wanted to live. And I also didn't need a crazy income in order to live a good life here. So the 6 or 7K that I made in July allowed me to live a really nice lifestyle of freedom and have a bunch of fun and continue growing my business and know that I'm not just doing degenerate shit. I'm moving the needle every single day while still having fun. So if you want to live a lifestyle where you're able to have fun whilst continually doing a super high return on investment act that's going to only make you more and more money with time, because every single video you post is a digital asset, especially on YouTube. You can have videos be pushed to your audience that are weeks, months, or even years old. That's why it's so valuable. It's a digital asset. It's not just a one-time story that's on your Instagram for 24 hours and it disappears. You are making a piece of content that can stay around basically forever. It's digital assets. It's really how you have to change your mindset and view it. And you're really doing, it's the highest leverage work possible. So the little time that you put in gets you massive return on investment. Imagine, obviously not everyone's going to turn into a client, but imagine being able to pitch and talk to tens of thousands of people. That's what you get with a personal brand. With tens of thousands of people, there's going to be a couple of them who are like, oh yeah, I like this guy, let me work with him. That's just how it goes. But that's what you get with personal branding, is the ability to speak to the masses and just attract in the people who want to work with you. And it's really, really an amazing business model. There's nothing that I see that compares. So personal branding is the best thing that you can do. And I personally believe YouTube is the best platform for it and building a real strong audience. So once again, if you want to get started on YouTube, or if you're already posting on YouTube and you really want to organize and systemize your channel to treat it like a business and generate a bunch of growth, pick up that YouTube strategy board. It's completely for free. It's the first link in the description below.